So today is a very auspicious occasion of Mahashivratri. On this auspicious day, it is mentioned in the Shastras that Lord Shiva, he enters in all wherever there is a Shiva Linga, whether it is installed or not. Wherever, whichever place you find a Shiva Linga, Shiva enters in that Linga today, at least for today. So whoever offers any obeisances to Shiva Linga today, they will surely get the mercy of Lord Shiva. And today is the day when Parvati and Lord Shiva, they got married. That is the day of Shivratri. So on this day of Shivratri, when Lord Shiva came to Parvatraj, Himavan, to get married to his daughter Parvati, he was nicely dressed with the beautiful ornaments, nicely dressed, crown and everything. So Narad Muni was puzzled. He said, Lord, my dear Shiva, I never saw you in such attire. Generally, I see your body is covered with a bhasma, ashes from the crematorium, and you have ornaments of snakes. But now you have golden ornaments, golden crown, and beautiful dress. So Shiva was smiling within his mind, heart. So as soon as the marriage was over, and Lord Shiva and Parvati came out of the palace of Himavan, suddenly Shiva transformed, changed his attire. All the clothes disappeared and the ornaments disappeared. And immediately he had his original ornaments of nagas, snakes all over his body, around his neck, around his armlets and bracelets, everywhere. Only Shiva, snakes. And then Shiva gave a beautiful smile to Narad Muni. He said, this is my real attire. So Narad Muni comments on that Leela. Although Lord Shiva has all the opulences to his disposal, but he is completely detached from it. Shiva, he has all the mystic powers, he has all the powers, but still, he, as a basic nature, he is a Vairagi, a renunciate. His one of the name is called Bhasma Bhuta. Shiva is called Bhasma Bhuta because he always covered over with the ashes of crematorium. And why does he apply that ashes on his body? Because he wants to show to the whole world that this world is temporary and ultimately will all merge into these ashes. So these ashes represent the complete renunciation from this material world and complete renunciation from the material pleasures. Therefore, he is called Bhasma Bhuta. Another name of Shiva is Kapali. He wears around his neck the garland of skulls. And what that represents? It represents that he is not fearful of death. He has conquered the death. Therefore, he wears these garlands of skulls, Kapali. His another name is Jatadhari. He has the matted hair, and his matted hair represents the sky. His another name is Shulapani. He always has a trishul, trident, in his hands. So that trident represents he has conquered over the three modes of material nature: passion, ignorance, and goodness. Another name is Trilochana. One time Shiva was sitting on a Mount Kailash, and Parvati Mai very lovingly she came behind Shiva, and with her hands she closed both the eyes of Shiva. So she covered both the eyes of Shiva with her hands. So then suddenly everyone saw that there was a complete darkness. The whole world was enveloped with darkness. Because Shiva's eyes represent sun and moon. So when you close the sun and moon, naturally everywhere is the darkness. So suddenly Shiva opened his third eye to illuminate the whole world with the sky and so with the light and the heat. So that therefore his name is Trilochana. His another name is Nagabhushana. He has armlets, bracelets, and all the ornaments made up of snakes. And that snake represents the fear. Lord Shiva has overcome the fear of this world. Therefore, his name is Nagabhushan. His another name is Rudra, means one who roars, one who cries loudly. That is Rudra. Another name is Digambara. His dress is a cosmic manifestation. All the four directions are his dress. That is Digambara. His another name is Hara, one who steals away or takes away all the karmic reactions or sinful reactions from all the living entities. His name is Shankara. Shankara means one who gives enjoyment to everyone. That is the meaning of Shankara. His another name is Gangadhar. Lord Shiva, he holds Ganga in his jata. When Bhagirath Maharaj, he requested that Ganga Mai, she has to come to the earth planet from the heavenly planet. But her force is so strong, the earth cannot bear it. So then Lord Shiva agreed to hold Ganga in his jata because he knew that his Ganga Jal is not different in Krishna's Charanamrita. His another name is Nataraj. He is the king of all dancers. His another name is Shambhu. Shambhu means that is the foundation or a basic foundation or a shelter for all the activities. His another name is Panchanana. He has a five faces personality is Panchanana. His name is Girisha. He is the king of all mountains, or he resides on the mountain. And another beautiful name is Bholenath. Bhola means very innocent. So Shiva is a master of all innocence. He doesn't like politics. Whenever he sees any innocent person, he immediately gives his mercy to that person. His name is Nilakantha. While churning of the ocean, when that halal, that poison came out of the ocean, Lord Shiva drank that whole poison. But Mother Parvati, she caught hold the neck of Shiva so that it should not go in the stomach of Lord Shiva. So his throat became a blue or a black. Therefore his name is Nilakantha. His another name is Pinakin, one who holds the bow named Pinak. His another beautiful name is Niranjan. Niranjan means very, very pure. That is Niranjan. And another name is Somanath. He is the master of Soma. So in this way, actually there are 1008 names of Shiva. So we cannot describe all the names here. So Lord Shiva sits on a tiger skin. So what does that represent? Tiger skin represents the desires, material desires. So when Shiva is sitting on the tiger skin, that means he has conquered all the material desires. Lord Shiva is called Patita Pavana. Patita Pavan means he is the deliverance of all the most fallen people. He loves to deliver all the fallen people. Therefore, we'll find actually Lord Krishna's bhakti, those who are in a mode of mode of passion and ignorance, they can never perform Krishna bhakti. Because there is some basic criteria required, some intelligence, some kind of sadhana, some restrictions, some rules and regulations. So therefore, those who are in ignorance and passion, they can never perform Krishna bhakti. So therefore, Krishna has ordered or requested Shiva to take care of those beings, especially the hobgoblins, ghostly beings, those who cannot even understand what the scriptures means. So Shiva, out of his causeless mercy, he is always surrounded by these ghostly beings. So he always takes care of them. But because Krishna has told him to stay away from him, just like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nityananda Prabhu, don't stay with me in Jagannath Puri. You go to Bengal and preach. So in separation from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was in so much of ecstasy, he was just delivering whoever he would meet. So similarly, Lord Shiva is in so much of separation from Lord Krishna, he just gives in association to all the hobgoblins and ghostly beings. Therefore his name is Patita Pavan. Lord Shiva's another name is Ashutosha. Ashutosh means one who becomes easily pleased. Whoever approaches Shiva for any purpose, for any benedictions, Shiva immediately offers that benedictions. You know why? Because Shiva does not want to associate all these people, those who want some material benedictions from him. And therefore, he just wants to get rid from them. So immediately he said, okay, whatever you desire, without even asking me, all the desires are fulfilled. Therefore is Ashutosha. And one of our devotee compares Srila Prabhupada with Lord Shiva. Just like this is a thankless task Prabhupada, Lord Shiva is performing. Although he is the purest of all the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavanam yatha Shambho, and why would he not like to be with the Vaishnavas? But he is not allowed. All the Vaishnavas are in one side, and Lord Shiva, although he is the purest of all Vaishnavas, but he is always surrounded by hobgoblins and ghostly beings. So similarly, when Prabhupada was leaving Vrindavan to the west, he remembers that all his god brothers, they are celebrating Janmashtami in Vrindavan, in Mayapur, and all the holy places. And Prabhupada was surrounded by all the ghostly beings. The Western world people were like almost like ghostly beings. So Prabhupada is a Patit Pavana and very beautiful. We heard that story, Bhrigumani, he wanted to check whether who is the supreme, either Shiva, Vishnu or Mahesha. And then the final conclusion was, even though Shiva, Bhrigu, he kicked on the chest of Lord Vishnu, but still Lord Vishnu didn't say anything to him. And Shiva became angry. That is the version we heard. But actually, Shiva did not become angry. He just wanted to glorify Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he acted like that. He showed it to Bhrigumani that I have become angry. This is according to Chaitanya Bhagavat. So he showed it like, as I am become angry. He is such a tolerant personality. He is so merciful. He is so compassionate. Even Daksha, he chastised, he criticized Shiva, but still Lord Shiva, he simply tolerated. He didn't say even one word to him. So why would he become angry to Bhrigu Rishi? So therefore, that also just to show Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he became angry. So one of the very, very important subject is, what is Shiva Linga? So I just went on the internet to find out what is the opinion of people about the Shiva Linga. And all those so-called scholars and educated people, their opinion is, one person, he's such an envious fellow, he writes in his book that all the Indians, the Hindus, they have long been embarrassed by the sensual representation of Shiva, Shiva Linga. It's actually embarrassment for Hindus that he writes in his book. One lady, she says that we, in our culture, in our tradition, in our religion, we don't worship a linga or a phallus of some personality. But you people, and then she says that, all the Hindus, they are tribals, jungle dwellers. 4,000 years ago, they were dwelling in the jungles, and recently they have become civilized. Those who write such things in their book, they are also well aware about the sanctity of our religion and sanctity of our Shivalinga, but because they are so much of envious, and therefore deliberately they vomit such obnoxious words and criticizing Lord Shiva. Actually, Shivalinga looks like a phallus of a person, but it is not. Some people say that it is Shivalinga is Shiva and Parvati, their love making, that is Shivalinga. Kali Yuga people, unfortunately, their minds are so nasty, their mind will dwell only eating stool. Whenever they see something, they will immediately go to only that point, sensual thing. So Shivalinga also, according to them, male and female phallus. So I read one or two Puranas. In Shiva Purana and also Linga Purana, there are some stories mentioned about Shivalinga. What is the history? What is the origin of Shivalinga? But those Shastras are in mode of ignorance. Linga Purana and Shiva Purana, they are all in mode of ignorance. So even if someone thinks that Shivalinga or a phallus is actually a phallus of a human being or a god, just try to understand the explanation given in the Linga Purana. It says that Bhargava Rishi, Angira Rishi, and other rishis, they become angry at Lord Shiva and they curse Lord Shiva. And immediately Lord Shiva's phallus fell down. Okay, what is next? As soon as Shiva's phallus fell on the ground, the whole earth broke into pieces. And that phallus reached to Patala planet. Is it an ordinary phenomenon? Is it an ordinary thing? Someone's phallus fell down on the ground and whole earth was torn into pieces and whole universe shook. That means, and then some gods, they tried to see the beginning and the end of the phallus, but they could not see the beginning and the end. That's an unending thing. So, even if we read some explanation in the Shastra, we must understand this is all a symbolic representation. Shivalinga is a symbolic representation of creation, or Shivalinga is a symbolic representation of masculine and feminine energy. Otherwise, how will you understand? This phallus is unending. But still I was thinking, why there are such descriptions given in the Shastras? It is so bewildering. So many, whoever reads this, they will become bewildered. Then I read the commentary of Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami beautifully writes, why such descriptions are there in these lower scriptures? You won't find it in Puranas who are in a mode of goodness, only in ignorance. Then Jiva Goswami writes that these people, they don't deserve higher knowledge. Because they bear the sinful desires in their heart, and therefore even if you try to give them the pure thing, they will never digest it. And because of the sinful desires, they want such kind of knowledge. Jiva Goswami writes this. Because of their sinful desires, they want such kind of knowledge, and therefore to fulfill their desires, Krishna creates this material world so that you can fulfill your material desires. And the scriptures are also exactly according to your desires. So this mode of ignorance scriptures, they have some kind of this kind of knowledge, this phallus and this, that. But actually, the actual meaning of Shivalinga is, Jiva Goswami writes in another purport, in the commentary of Shat Sandarbhas, he says that when Mahavishnu glances over the material nature, through that glance, Lord Shiva is in contact with the material energy. That glance over the material energy, that is Shivalinga. That is a representation of Krishna's energy. So, at the beginning, in the spiritual world, there is no physical activities. Like there is no interaction between male and female That physical relationship, it is not present in the Vaikuntha or a spiritual world. Only after Shiva, from Shiva, all this physical interaction begins. Because Shiva is now first time interacting with the material nature. After Shiva, all the gods, Brahma, Indra, Varuna, and all the gods, up to now, insects in the ground or crawling on the land, everyone is indulged into that physical male and female relationship. But you will never find any description about Vishnu or Krishna or Narayana or Rama or any avatara indulging in that activity. No scripture mentions. But sometimes you may say, yes, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Kubja had a material desire. She wanted to fulfill material desires through Krishna. Bhagavatam explains that simply by embrace Krishna fulfilled the desire of Kubja. Krishna had 10 sons and 1 daughter through all his 16,108 wives. All the children were born simply by embrace and no other physical activity or physical relationship. But the first time in the creation, this activity begins from Shiva, Parvati, and then because they are the original parents of all the Jiva. So now tell me, when any ordinary man takes birth through his parents, do we condemn that activity? Whenever a child is born in someone's house, any time, even in the dream, did you condemn that activity? Everyone rejoices, everyone becomes happy. Oh, the son is born, the daughter is born in such and such family. The parents are so glorious. An ordinary child's birth is so glorious. And here the original parents, from them the whole creation is beginning now. And that is condemned. It is purely shows we are so envious. So, actually, there is no need of even Shiva and Parvati to come together. Just to fulfill the desires, vicious desires of living entity. Therefore, Krishna has to play the whole game. There is no need of material creation also. Because we all had that material desires in our heart, and therefore Krishna, he expands into Vishnu first, and then Vishnu expands as a Sadashiv, and Sadashiv again expands as Shiva. Sadashiv, he has his own planet that is just below the spiritual world, but that is not a part of material world. That is also eternal spiritual world. Sadashiv Loka is also eternal spiritual world. And one of our Acharya writes that all the Shiva devotees, those who are residing on a Sadashiv planet, they are almost all of them are pure devotees of Krishna. They are all liberated souls. But in this material creation, when the Sadashiv comes as a Shiva, then he is surrounded by all the ghostly beings. So here on this Kailash, he is surrounded by all these ghostly beings, those who cannot perform any bhakti or any spiritual activity. So, our scriptures, why there are some scriptures in the mode of ignorance and some are in the mode of passion and some are in the goodness? One time Prabhupada, he was talking to his devotees, some devotees, and he narrated this pastime. One time Shiva and Parvati, they were walking on the road, but they were disguised as an ordinary man and woman. Nobody could understand them, recognize them. So there was one poor beggar sitting on the street, begging for some alms or some food. And then Parvati Mai became so merciful, and she said, "My dear Shiva, why don't you give some bakshish or some charity to him?" Then Shiva said, "There is no point in giving him some charity, because he will not appreciate it. And Parvati said, how is that? Shiva said, okay, let us see. So Shiva took one watermelon. This is Prabhupada told this story. Shiva took a watermelon and he placed some thousands and thousands of rupees into the watermelon and gave it to the beggar. This is for you. He said, what will I do with this watermelon? And then he saw one other person walking on the road. He said, okay, will you purchase this watermelon from me? He said, okay. He gave him 5 rupees and purchased the watermelon and left. So Prabhupada told the story, although Krishna wants to give blessings, Lord Shiva wants to give his blessings to us, but sometimes we are so unfortunate that we don't even understand the blessings of Shiva. And therefore, we'll find all the scriptures are available. Those who are in the mode of goodness, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, above all the 3 modes. But nobody takes advantage of that. So therefore, whatever they can appreciate to fulfill their material desires, therefore, Lord Shiva, he provides all the facilities to them. So how these living entities are impregnated in this world? Through Shiva Linga. Sa ikshataha means simply by his glance, he impregnated the material nature and all the jivas are born. Shiram yatha dadi vikara vishesha yogat. Vishesha vikara vishesha yogat means absolutely there is no difference between Shiva and Krishna or a Vishnu. They are the same personality. But because there is a vikara, there is the adding of acid or a culture or a dahi or a curd. And therefore that milk has become now the curd. Shiva is touched by the 3 modes. Shiva is not affected by the 3 modes. This passion, ignorance and goodness. Shiva is not affected by the 3 modes, but he surely is touched by the 3 modes. And therefore, that milk has become the curd. And Jiva Goswami beautifully writes, amazing. Sutta Goswami was giving his classes and all the rishis, Shaunakadi rishi, they are asking question. At one point of time, they come to such a level, they start discussing about Shivalinga and all these things. So little, Sutta Goswami says, although this knowledge is not exactly connected to a living entity, but still since you have asked the question, I will answer. Then Jiva Goswami says, those spirituals who are in the ignorance and passion, they are not directly connected to living entity and Jiva and Krishna because there is no knowledge of Sambandha, Avideya and Prayojan. In mode of ignorance and mode of passion Puranas, you will never find these 3 aspects of Sambandha, Avideya and Prayojan. Now we'll see what are the services Shiva performs for Krishna or for all the Vaishnavas. Shiva is one of the 12 Mahajanas and he is also a Dham protector. Like in Vrindavan we have, in Mathura we have Bhuteshwar Mahadev, at Govardhan Chakleshwar Mahadev, in Nandagaon, Kamyavan Kameshwar Mahadev, and Vrindavan Gopeshwar Mahadev. In this way, Lord Shiva protects the Dham of Lord Krishna. In Nandagaon, Lord Shiva, he wanted to do special seva for Krishna. So he requested Krishna, please allow me to take form as a mountain so that all your devotees, they will place their lotus feet on my head and I'll get the dust of their feet. So he has become now expanded as a Nandeshwar mountain. Now all the Nandagaon village is established on that mountain. It is mentioned that at Rudradvip, Lord Shiva came in the dream of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and he told him that your eternal form in the spiritual world, you are the Kamal Manjari in the spiritual world. Lord Shiva also appeared in this world as Advaita Acharya to Sir Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he is so compassionate. By his mercy, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also appeared in this world. During the Rasalila, Lord Shiva, he wanted to take part in the Rasalila, but because being a male body, he was not allowed. So Yogamaya told Shiva, no problem, you take bath in Mansarovar. So after taking bath in Mansarovar, Shiva became a female gopi, and the Yamuna Mai personally handed over all the jewels and clothes to Gopi Shankara. And then amazing, not only Shiva is serving Krishna, but his whole family is serving Krishna. Like Parvati, Gauri, Kali. In Vrindavan, Shivji has his own role to perform in Krishna's Leela, and Katyayani Devi. All the gopis, they worship Katyayani so that they will get Krishna as their husband. One time at near Sankarshan Kund around Govardhan Parikrama, there is one kunda. It's called Gauri Kund. So every day Sri Radha and all the gopis, they would go to worship Gauri Devi, and Krishna would come to meet all of them. So one day suddenly Jatila and Kutila, the sister-in-law and the mother-in-law of Radharani, they came to know that Sri Radha is with Krishna at Gauri temple. So they came over there. As soon as Jatila entered in the temple hall, Krishna immediately merged in the body of Gauri, Gauri Devi. And then, as a Gauri Devi, he started shouting and chastising at Jatila. So in this way, Gauri Devi cooperated in Krishna's Leela. Even Ganesha, his son, Shiva's son, he also plays a very intimate role in Krishna's service. At Jamuna Ghat, there is one specific ghat. His name is Vignesh Ghat. All the gopis, they worship Ganapati, Ganesha, to remove all the obstacles from their path of meeting Krishna. And because the whole family is completely busy and engaged in Krishna's service, therefore there are no problems in their life. Just like Shiva's career is bull, and Durga Mata, Durga Devi's career is lion. All of them are sitting together, huh? Like Shiva is sitting here, Parvati is sitting there, and next to Shiva is a bull, and next to Maya, Gauri Maya is a lion. So lion is looking at a bull. But because this whole family is in the service of Krishna, therefore there is no enmity between a lion and a bull. And the Kartikeya's career is peacock, and Ganesha's career is rat. They are all sitting over there, but still there is no enmity. They have friendship. So similarly, when we engage ourselves and whole family in Krishna's service, then all our animalistic propensities, that animalistic nature becomes purified, and we happily become engaged in Krishna's service. One time Prabhupada went to Chennai, and there was one person from one mission. We will not mention the name of that person. Tell me the difference between puja and bhakti. Prabhupada asked him a simple question. What is the difference between puja and bhakti? So he didn't say anything. Then Prabhupada said, puja means worshipping any god with some material motive. You want some material benedictions, that is called puja. But bhakti means we just want to serve Krishna or God simply out of love and affection. There is no material motivation behind that. We don't want anything from that. But generally, people go to any god with some material motives. Therefore, it is called puja. But bhakti means with no material motivations. But then he understood this part. But then he asked, but Swamiji, is it not possible to worship a demigod with bhakti? Prabhupada said, yeah, it is possible, but it is very rare. And then Prabhupada gave another example. Just like, when you see someone going to liquor shop or bar shop. Generally, what we think, any person is going to liquor shop means he is going to purchase some liquor, isn't it? No one will go like, just to see what is there inside. Anyone is approaching a liquor shop means he wants to purchase some liquor. So similarly, puja means when you are approaching any demigod, that means you want some material benediction. There are some exceptional cases, but that is very rare. Those who are worshipping demigods still those have worshipping demigods but still have no material motives. Such people are very rare. So one time there was one devotee, Malhotra. Then he said, Prabhupada, who is greater, Shiva or Vishnu or Krishna? And then Prabhupada gave different answer. Prabhupada said, people like you and me, we are so stupid. We try to discuss who is superior. But between Krishna and Shiva, there is a competition. Who will serve more the other person? Shiva is trying his best to prove how Krishna or Rama or Vishnu, he is superior. He is better than me. And Vishnu or Rama or Krishna, he is trying to prove and try to serve Shiva in a way so that he will get more glories. Just like when that halahal poison came out of the ocean, Krishna could have drank it. But he said, go to Shiva, approach him. He will drink the poison. So that he will get the credit. He will become more famous. Lord Ram worshipped Shivalinga at Rameshwar. Now Narad Muni is confused. Narad Muni is going to Shiva and he is asking him, my dear Shiva, tell me who is superior. Ram is worshipping you at Rameshwaram. That means you are superior. And then Shiva was sitting in this position and he had his mala. And then he said, Narad Muni, do you know what I am chanting? He said, I am chanting Lord Rama's name. Ram, 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 Ram. So those who are, they don't have any knowledge, they simply argue who is superior. But amongst this, because Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu, Krishna, he loves to serve his devotees. And Shiva also in reciprocation, he also wants to serve. So, one time one person asked the question to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, you said that Krishna announced, those who serve my devotees, I'll be more pleased to them. More, rather than serving me, if you serve my devotees, I'll become more pleased with you. He said, okay, Shiva is a devotee of Krishna, so I will worship him, so that Krishna will become more pleased with me. So then Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, Prabhupada, what answer I will give to him now? Prabhupada said, absolutely there is no problem. Let him serve Shiva as a devotee of Krishna. If he considers Shiva as independent from Krishna, then there is a problem. If you worship Shiva as a devotee of Krishna, it's perfectly all right. Another time, one disciple of Prabhupada, he came to Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, there is one person, he wants to chant only Om Namah Shivaya. Prabhupada said, it's perfectly all right. Let him chant Om Namah Shivaya. Because at Varanasi, it is natural. There will be, whoever is now there in this material world, 98 or 99% public is in the mode of ignorance and passion. So therefore, whatever is a comfortable method for them to worship any god, let them do it. And slowly, if they are really genuine and sincere in their service to any demigods, like Shiva, whoever chants Shiva's holy name sincerely, at the time of death, Shiva chants Lord Rama's name in the ear of that devotee. When he is dying, in his ear, Shiva chants Lord Rama's name so that his journey begins. Just like we also have some Agya Sukriti process, giving prasad, giving books or holy name, and not necessarily that everyone becomes a devotee in the same lifetime. It may take many lifetimes also for them to become a devotee. So there is one more controversial point. Does Shiva smoke ganja? Does Shiva smoke weed? शिवा गांजा पीते हैं क्या, भांग पीते हैं क्या? I saw one video. This song became so famous. The singer has sung the song, and Shiva is asking Parvati, "Last 1 hour I have been waiting for you, and you have not made my bhang ready." अभी तक मेरी भांग रेडी नहीं है, 1 घंटे से वेट कर रहा हूं मैं. And that song has become so famous now because Shivratri is now. Does Shiva smoke weed or ganja or bhang? Nowhere in the scripture, nowhere, whether it's a Linga Puran, any Puran, you will never find any description where Shiva is smoking ganja or Shiva is smoking weed or Shiva drinking bhang. Nowhere. But sometimes we misunderstand whenever we see Indra with some glass of wine, and this is somras. But that somras has nothing to do with anything about the liquor of this world. Somras is completely different liquid, and this material world's intoxications like bhang or any liquor is completely different. So even if Shiva is taking some medicinal herbs or smoking something or drinking some heavenly beverage, that is not a bhang or ganja. You at least scriptural, there are no evidences. But people, they love, they like all these things. So therefore, one person, whenever someone says that, okay, Shiva is drinking ganja or smoking weeds, fine. So everyone accepts blindly because everyone wants to fulfill their desires. And in the name of Shiva, it becomes very easy. So I'll finish it in 2-3 minutes. One time, Parvati Mai, she was chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, 1000 names of Vishnu. And Shiva became very hungry. He wanted to eat something. So he called Parvati, "Please sit with me. Both of us will take prasad together." But Parvati Mai said, "I am chanting Vishnu Sahasranam. It will take a little time for completing with this." Shiva said, "I am very hungry." But she was continuing chanting Vishnu Sahasranam. Then Shiva said, "You want to chant 1000 names of Vishnu? I'll give you one secret mantra. Chant Ram, only Ram." And she said Ram. And then Shiva said, "Now this one name of Ram is equal to 1000 names of Vishnu. Okay? Now sit with me." So, Ram Rame Rameti Rame Rame Manorame. So Lord Shiva said, "Lord Ram is my favorite name. So you also chant this Ram so that it will be like equivalent to Vishnu Sahasranam." And Lord Shiva has a special affection for Krishna and Sri Radha in Vrindavan Dham. And therefore Shiva has composed a Radha Kripa Kataksha. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu composed Shivastakam. Like Murari Gupta in his diary, he writes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whenever he would visit Shiva temple, he would recite Shivastakam. And in return, Shiva Shankar Bholenath, he composed Radha Kripa Kataksha. What an amazing song. One of the stanza explains Ananta Koti Vishnu Lokam Nambra Padmajarchite हिमाद्रिजा पुलोमजा विरञ्चजा वरप्रदे अपारसिद्धिरिदिदिग्धा सत्पदाङ्गुलीनखे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनं कृपाकटाक्षभाजनं. Mayur Prabhu is sitting here. He only composed the music for Radha Kripa Kataksha for my song. Thank you. So Lord Shiva, he explains, now he has composed Radha Kripa Kataksha and he is reciting this Radha Kripa Kataksha to his wife Parvati. And what the shloka explains? That all these planets, hundreds and thousands and millions of planets are created by Lord Vishnu, Krishna, and the goddesses like Lakshmi, Saraswati, Sachi, wife of Indra Sachi, and yourself Parvati. All of you have all the mystic powers. And how do you get those mystic powers? From Nakhangule, from the toenails of Sri Radha. Not even from the hands, from the toenails of Sri Radha. Such a humble personality, isn't it? Even Parvati Mai also is such a humble personality. She accepted it. Just imagine, her husband is telling that whatever powers you have, whatever beauty you have, it is coming from Sri Radha. And not even coming from Sri Radha, it is coming from the toenails of Sri Radha. And Parvati Mai is in ecstasy. This is the glory of this whole family. Lord Shiva, Parvati, Ganesha, and Kartikeya. Very beautiful family. Although Vaishnavas, they keep a little distance from them, but they are doing this thankless task for Lord Krishna. So today is a very auspicious day of Shivratri. Prabhupada said, Ekada. Ekada means once in a year we can worship Shiva, remember him, offer our pranams to him, and remember his pastimes. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.